Yeah.
So perhaps just I'd like to ask you a little bit about Carol's style, and yeah, just tell us a little bit about.
I think Carol. I mean, full disclosure, I've done a lot of retreats with Carol, and I've gone to be with her for months on Whitby to learn the movements more deeply, because I teach these movements, so it was important for me to get them as close to the source as possible. So obviously, I agree with Carol's style, and I think it is this one of the best styles I know to learn these movements. I've studied with, I think by now, about 10 other teachers of the movements. Yeah, I've gone around the world looking for movement teachers because they are rare. People who really know the movements are really rare. And yeah, I think I've been with about 8 or 10, at least in one retreat, if not more. And the one that I stuck with was Carol. There are others that are very good teachers, but for some reason, Carol was the one I chose to stay with. I think the reason I chose to stay with Carol, and this is her style, the style is freedom. That is the main word, main value behind the way she teaches. So that means there's no forcing. Because people, teachers in any method, even yoga teachers, wherever, will be like, oh, this is the way you do this movement, and you have to, and don't stop, and, go into it and go deeper. And there's none of that. She will present the challenge. It will be challenging, I assure you. But if it's too much, you do less and it's okay. And if you're really, really feeling overwhelmed, then you can sit on the couch and observe, watch for the 30 minutes, right? Or 2 minutes, maybe you just need a short break. And if something is absolutely impossible for you, maybe you talk to her and she sees what she can do with that. Maybe she changes something, right? So there's a lot of freedom. Everyone needs to learn in their own way, at their own pace. Forcing in the long run doesn't really create real deep learning, like learning that really changes you, because you have to feel free to do it your way. So there's a lot of freedom. It's not based on discipline. There is structure. Carol is very clear. This is what we're doing now. It's explained clearly, but there is freedom, So everything she teaches around that. So that means, for example, that if you make a mistake, it's fine. No one cares. It's not about that. It's about the meditation. It's about your experience. It's about your development. It's about where you are. I think that's the essential thing about Carol. That's one thing. And the other thing that has to do with this, she's an improviser. She changes. She looks at the group and she changes, and she looks at the group again and she changes it again. It's not like this is what we're doing every day, which is very interesting to follow. And it can be beautiful and it can be challenging as well, because you want to keep dancing. She says we're doing something else. So you work with that as well. So that's, I think, the most concrete and unique thing about Carol in terms of the movements. And you know what, I'll say one more thing. She really, really connects the movements to the body, because it is possible to do these movements more like with the form, with thinking about this movement and that sequence. She really, really brings it down to experience, with like sensing your hands, sensing your feet, sensing your center of your body, your heart. You really, really sense yourself. That's another part of her style that I really appreciate.
Yeah, me too. That's definitely something that I found very attractive as I was learning more about this. So this was very cool. Great.